Hi, I'm Michael Angel Loayza Jr. and I'm the Mindful Chef. Today we will be making dishes from all over the world with nutritious ingredients that will leave your body feeling energized, revitalized, and will re-heal yourself while treating yourself in the process. Today's episode is called All Around the World because we're not only making culinary dishes from all over the world, but we're also empowering people throughout the world suffering from chronic disease and inflammation, something that affects 1 in every 2 Americans alone, to making healthier choices when in the kitchen and even out of the kitchen. And being that we have a special atypical guest to taste and judge what we've made, we're not only alleviating chronic disease through diet, but also focusing on the nutritional deficiencies in children and adults on the spectrum. Because 1 in 44 children in the United States are diagnosed with an autism spectrum disorder, and the number is rising rapidly. But simply put, everything we're making today is beneficial for everyone, and it is going to be absolutely delicious. And I can't wait for you to come on this culinary journey with me all over the world, traveling to different countries without ever leaving your kitchen. It is going to be epic, and you're going to get educated. Portobello mushroom pizzas. These are vegan and dairy-free, quick and easy portobello mushroom pizzas. So I took out the end caps and I minced them up for our filling. Now we're just gonna need an onion, about 2 tablespoons of onion, which is about 1/4 of a large onion. We got some garlic. And garlic is a natural antibiotic that's been used since the beginning of time, along with onions. And now I'm starting to cry because of the onions. All right, so now we're going to assemble our mushroom pizzas in a nice pan and make it mess-free. I got some extra virgin olive oil that I'm gonna put in the bottom of the pan. Rub some mushrooms in olive oil. I'm crying because these are gonna be so good. It makes me so happy. So you put a couple tablespoons of some crushed organic canned tomatoes. Now we're gonna fill our mushrooms with the onion, garlic, and end cap mixture. I have some nice dried parsley and some rosemary. And I have nutritional yeast, unfortified. This is delicious. This is packed with B vitamins. You can get unfortified nutritional yeast. It makes a huge difference in your cooking if you're vegan, vegetarian. I'm gonna do a dab of extra virgin olive oil over the top. And I have some fresh herbs from the garden. I got some fresh oregano, let's say some fresh thyme. And that's it. Now they're ready to go into a preheated oven at about 425 for roughly 25 to 30 minutes, depending on your oven. Oh snap. These look absolutely beautiful. Look, they're golden brown on top. Oh, it looks delicious. We gotta try it. Actually, I have a good idea. Get some fresh basil and just tear it. Oh my God, it smells so good. Tearing the basil, you smell the oils. And a little drizzle of olive oil. Wow, it's time to taste. This looks and smells so good. I'm so excited, my mouth is just watering. Oh man, that is really good. It's so good that I'm not even gonna talk to you. I'm just gonna have the second piece. The mushrooms are so juicy, the tomatoes so sweet, and the basil so fresh, and the saltiness and tanginess of the nutritional yeast. These are absolutely perfect. These portobello mushrooms turned out absolutely beautiful on our trip to Italy, so now let's go to Japan and make some delicious salmon sushi next. I became more conscious in the kitchen when my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer more than a decade ago. We were fortunate enough that she had very good doctors, but ironically, we quickly learned the lack of health knowledge and nutritional knowledge within the healthcare system. I mean, you don't have to look far. All you have to do is look to a hospital menu and see sugary sodas, pudding, orange juice, all of these things, Splenda, aspartame, all these different forms of cancerous, carcinogenic sweeteners that are not healthy. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, if you want to say, the hospital pudding. Okay, now that we had some delicious portobello mushrooms, let's make some salmon sushi. Quick, easy, and delicious and nutritious, super high in omega-3s. Whenever you're buying salmon, always buy wild salmon. Farm-raised salmon is actually dyed artificially, so the salmon's color is not even really its color. It's whatever they are giving it, artificial food dyes and all those things that aren't good and things that aren't meant to be ingested in your body. So here we have some wild salmon, which we are gonna cut up and mince like crazy. Just like when you have a spicy salmon roll or tuna roll, Everything's minced, that's what we're gonna do. You can do this in a food processor, but I like to dance with my knife and cut and chop and cut and chop because it's rather meditative. It's very therapeutic. I dig it. I think you will too if you just give yourself to this moment. So we're just gonna keep mincing the salmon until it becomes like a paste. And once you get it into a paste, I want you to sprinkle some pumpkin seeds. Pumpkins are incredibly high in magnesium and zinc, and they are so delicious. These are sprouted. You can buy sprouted. They're sold everywhere. Lightly salted. We're just going to sprinkle a little bit for texture over the minced salmon, and then we're just going to continue to crunch and mince and crunch the pumpkin seeds into the nice, fresh, wild salmon. I'm going to put it into our mixing bowl. So now we got some miso. Miso is a natural probiotic. It is delicious. It's very salty, so a little goes a long way. We're gonna put about a tablespoon of miso into our salmon. This is Dijon mustard, a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, a tablespoon of miso, and we're going to mix with the salmon. And I'm gonna add a little more pumpkin seeds for some crunch. So now we have carrot. Really, we're just gonna use the shavings. Cucumber. Carrots are packed with vitamin A, which is great for your eyes. Cucumbers are packed with electrolytes. So you have salmon, which is rich in healthy omega-3s, vitamin D, B vitamins. Not to mention we have nori sheets here, which will be our last step once we assemble, which is incredibly rich in iodine, an essential nutrient. A nice little scallion that we're gonna slice. We have a chili because I like a little spice in everything, really, because I'm spicy like that. Jalapenos are incredibly rich in vitamin C, even more so than orange. In a cup of jalapenos, I think there's about 2 times the vitamin C than there is in orange. So that's pretty crazy. I de-skinned the salmon. You don't have to do this. You don't have to take the salmon skin off yourself. You can have your fishmonger do it. I did it myself. That you just scrape the flesh of the salmon off the skin. You can always use this because this is one of the most nutritionally dense pieces of the salmon. You can use this as a chip. You can season it with some everything bagel seasoning. Pop it in the pan with a little coconut oil or just bake it. And it's good. It's pretty good. Before we start assembling the salmon sushi, I'm gonna get some citrus because it needs a little acidity to balance everything out. All the flavor and nutrients is in the zest of the lemon, lime, orange. It is so important to enhance any dish, not just nutritionally, but also flavor-wise. So important. And always buy organic when you're zesting. You do not want to be zesting pesticides and chemicals into your food, ever. So buy organic when you are buying citrus and use the zest because it adds so much. Just squeeze half a lime if it's juicy. Another trick with limes, so before you cut them, you can always roll them on the cutting board and it gets the juices flowing, so to speak. And it makes squeezing a lot easier. But also you don't want to squeeze limes too much because otherwise it'll take the bitterness from the rind and then you don't want that in your food. You want just the delicious acidity and freshness of the lime. And now we're gonna assemble our sushi. You don't have to be a world-class chef in order to cook like one at all. Cooking is simple, just like breathing. So right now I'm just gonna lay right in the middle of the nori some cucumber and carrot and jalapeno that we just cut. And you don't want to pack it too much because you don't want it to be overfilled and overflowing, but this will be good because it'll absorb the moisture of the salmon and it won't make the nori all soggy and wet. Because we don't have rice in these rolls because we are doing low carb, keto friendly, and all that good stuff. So a few dollops will do ya of the salmon mixture. And you want to form the salmon around the other vegetables. And you can even add some more vegetables on top, some more carrots, some more cucumbers, some more jalapeno. Now we're just going to take the nori paper and just roll it over. And we're going to not go all the way to the end of the nori, but we're going to pinch our ingredients in gently. You don't want to pinch too hard because the nori is kind of delicate, so you don't want it to rip. So we're going to pinch and tighten our filling, and then we're going to pinch and roll, and then we're going to press, and that's it. You always want to cut with a sharp knife, so this way it's nice and smooth. Look how absolutely gorgeous these are. and packed with salmon, packed with cucumber, carrots, jalapeno, miso. So you have probiotics along with your omega-3s. It's unbelievable. And actually, before I taste it, I'm gonna get some soy sauce because I enjoy soy sauce with my sushi. But if you are gluten intolerant and you can't have soy sauce, they do have tamari, which is a gluten-free soy sauce, but this is a Japanese traditional soy sauce that I enjoy thoroughly. And I will delicately try not to waste it by pouring. Look at that. That looks so good. Wow. That was a big bite. It's packed with flavor. Oh, and now I'm getting this spice. Super salty in a good way. From the miso, light and bright from the lime. This is a nutritionally dense powerhouse in a little roll. Super quick, super easy. You don't have to cook anything. There's no heating. It's all raw. And if you're wary about raw fish, all you have to do, this mince mixture, let the lime sit longer and let it cure and cook the fish like a ceviche. And then you don't have to worry about eating raw fish if you're, hesitant to do so. But if you have good quality fish that's fresh, you never really have to worry about that. These are so good. So now, once I finish all of these rolls by myself, we will then move to our last and final dish before dessert in Mexico for some lamb tacos. Lamb tacos. Yes, lamb tacos. I cannot wait. With some almond tortillas and a pico de gallo. If I can find cilantro. I don't know if it's in the garden right now, but there might be some coriander. But we improvise because that's what you do when you cook. You don't have to have everything to the recipe to the T. You utilize what you have. Always utilize what you have. Autism influenced me when I met a larger-than-life little girl named Clara, our taste tester today, and I fell in love with her and her family, and I observed how difficult it is raising a child with autism, and also the lack of recipes and nutritional advice out there for parents struggling with these challenging circumstances. Everyone deserves to have good food, and everyone deserves to be able to have the knowledge and be empowered to create delicious, simple, and nutritious dishes. Autism has opened my eyes to a more creative sense of cooking in the kitchen and recipes that have a combination of all the essential vitamins and minerals packed in one simple dish, quick and efficient. So I want to gift that back to you guys as well, because it means something to me dearly. So we've traveled to Italy, we've traveled to Japan, and now we shall finish up in Mexico with some lamb tacos with warm almond tortillas and a pico de gallo. Right now we have our skillet warming up and we have 2 pounds of ground grass-fed lamb. Grass-fed meats are important. It is essential to eat grass-fed meats because that is what animals are meant to eat, grass. I got some extra virgin olive oil over here that I'm going to put in our pan. And we shall just toss our lamb into the hot pan. So we want to break it apart because we're making tacos. We don't want to cook one big solid piece of lamb. Listen to that sizzle, and it smells so good. Lamb is incredibly high in zinc, in iron. It is incredibly beneficial for you to consume it. All right, so once we break apart our lamb, I got some seasonings and spices. I have some dried oregano and rosemary, about a teaspoon each, but if you like something, you can put quite a bit of it. You don't have to measure so precisely. I got a teaspoon of paprika and half a teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and a teaspoon of onion powder mixed together. And last but not least, we have a tablespoon of chili powder. So we're just going to continue mixing our meat, cooking it through, stirring and mixing. And the lamb has a nice amount of fat, so it's going to give off a lot of fat as well. And it's going to help with the caramelization and browning. For a few minutes, just cook it through till the pinkness goes away. But again, lamb you can eat rare, medium rare. It doesn't have to be cooked thoroughly through like chicken or turkey. So now that the lamb is just about all the way cooked through and it's rendered out a nice amount of its fat and it smells and looks absolutely beautiful, we are going to add a cup of crushed organic tomatoes. And we're just going to stir that, combine it, and just salt and pepper. So do a pinch of pepper and pink salt. Why pink salt? Because pink salt doesn't contain plastics, which is frequently found in regular sea salt because our oceans are so polluted and it's very unfortunate. But pink salt, Himalayan pink salt, is up in the mountains opposed to down in the ocean. So it is essential to use pink salt. And it's very rich in nutrients. Simple as could be. So while that's cooling off, we're going to make a pico de gallo, which consists of tomatoes, jalapenos, and red onion, which is very high in quercetin, which is a antioxidant. It's good for if you're sick, it's good for allergies. It's a natural antihistamine, which is pretty cool for seasonal allergies and if you have any sort of allergic reaction to anything. So we're going to chop this red onion up. And look at these tomatoes. Perfume of the nightshade vegetables. It's so nice. We chop up our tomatoes. And again, when it comes to the jalapenos, do not feel obligated to use the whole jalapeno if you don't like spice. You can always de-seed it simply by cutting the rib out as so. Look at that, 1, 2, 3, very easy. But if you like spice, you can just leave the seeds in. And we have limes. I'm doing 2 at a time because it's a good workout. Okay, and then pinch of salt. Some pepper, and I'm gonna add, which isn't traditional, but we have a nice amount of fresh basil and oregano, and look how pretty the mint flowers are, and some fresh thyme. And all of these herbs work as a natural antibiotic. Oregano is one of the most commonly used natural antibiotics that aren't resistant to a lot of things that are becoming resistant because of the overuse of antibiotics today. So oregano is that potent. Just look at the colors. Look how beautiful it is. If I had cilantro, I'd put cilantro, but I don't have cilantro, so it's okay. When you don't have something that a recipe calls for, you can always improvise. It's not a big deal. You don't have to overthink it. Just use what you have. So now we're gonna warm up our almond flour tortillas. Almond tortillas are now an option. They even have chickpea. They have all different kinds. So I have a non-stick skillet warming up. We're just gonna warm our tortillas up a little bit because warming them makes them more pliable. Our meat right in the center. And then our pico de gallo over that. Wow. I have a dairy-free sour cream. Anyway, this is made from almonds and it is good. It's very good. And look at all the delicious fat from the lamb. This just looks so good. It's gonna be messy, but messy is good. Let's have a little squeeze of whatever juice is left in this lime, because there's nothing like fresh squeezed lime juice over a taco. Bésame. Oh, dude. Bésame mucho. This is so good. It's falling apart. You can always double shell it. It's not a big deal. Because sometimes, especially with moist ingredients, things break. Or you can put a piece of lettuce down, make a lettuce wrap and then tortilla. Or you can just do it without tortilla and have lettuce wrap. This is unbelievable. It's juicy, has that punch from the onions, from the red onions, and the acidity from the lime, the tomato and the sour cream, creaminess, everything's there. Everything is on point. This is very good. I might need a fork, but it's okay. So now that we've made our pit stop in Mexico for some delicious lamb tacos, we're gonna move on to our last and final course of the evening and make something from the country of France. So now for our final course, pâte crème of France, which literally translates to a pot of cream. But we are not using the traditional ingredients of milk and sugar that a pot of crème usually consists of. We are doing all nutritionally dense ingredients. We have really good high quality raw cacao paste. Nothing else is in this other than cacao paste. It's so high in fiber, iron, and so many different vital nutrients and minerals. And I have a warm skillet heating up, and we're just gonna dump this in here and let it cook down and let it melt, reach its melting point. And what I have here is lacanato sugar. This is our sugar substitute. This is monk fruit sweetener, pretty much everywhere now. It's very easy to find. But first and foremost, before we do anything, we need to separate eggs because this is an egg yolk dish. We need to separate the whites from the eggs, which is easy. We crack, we gingerly let the white go. We use the eggshells as a tool. And look at that, look how cute. It's like the little egg yolk is dancing from cup to cup. So we're gonna do 6 of these. Egg yolks are packed with nutrients and incredibly healthy, contradicting what has been said about them in recent times, being that people think the egg white is healthier than yolk when it's not the case at all. All the nutrition is in the yolk. No yolk. We have 6 egg yolks cracked. Now, we can put the egg whites aside. What you can do with the egg whites, you can do anything. You can make a frittata with it the next day or the same day. You can make a meringue if you desire to make a dessert with it. Right now, we're just going to leave them aside. I have 6 tablespoons of lacanato sugar. It's delicious. It's a 1-to-1 sugar substitute. It tastes exactly the same, except it's not going to spike your insulin levels like sugar does, and it's not unhealthy like sugar. So we're going to whisk these things together. Usually, it's for custards, it's 1-to-1, as in a tablespoon of sugar to 1 egg yolk. And that's what we're doing here. And look at the vibrant color. Look how pretty this is. This is gorgeous. Our chocolate is melting nicely. I'm just going to stir the chocolate over here, break up the big chunks. There is nothing better than the smell of melted chocolate. It is just unbelievable. We're going to do pâte de crème with a twist. We are going to use more of that beautiful thing that I love very much, which is the zest, because it adds so much. It adds so much to dishes. So we're going to zest a lemon. A whole lemon zested into our egg yolk and lacanato sugar mixture. And then, once we zest, we shall cut the lemon. And we're going to juice half a lemon, because lemon juice is delicious. And citrus goes with chocolate so well. You can use a lemon juicer. I'm using my hands to get your seed. You can use a strainer. But for me, I'm comfortable just using my hands and catching the seeds. Fun fact for lemon rinds, once you're done, this whole thing is actually edible. It's very good. It's actually an estrogen blocker, the white of the lemon, if you have a palate for it. But you can dry it out and make tea with it too. You can put it in the oven, dehydrate it, and so this way you utilize literally all of the citrus fruit, and that's always good to do. So, and we have some salt, which we'll toss in here, about half a teaspoon of salt. And we're going to just whisk all these things together again and incorporate. Our chocolate is just about melted. We have our milk substitute, which is coconut milk. This is 2 cups of coconut milk in the can. The heavy stuff, the heavy cream coconut milk, not the watery stuff. This makes all of the difference in this and gives it that decadent richness that will mimic the regular heavy cream, whole milk sort of ambiance of the traditional pâte de crème. So we're going to dump this and mix this into the chocolate. Coconut and chocolate go very, very well. So now we're going to grab our final ingredient, which is almond butter. This is just straight up almond butter with some sea salt. There's no sugars or anything or oils that don't need to be in it. It's just straight up almond butter. And we're going to do about half a cup. And we're going to pour that into the pan with the coconut milk and the chocolate. We add the almond butter. We're going to turn up the heat. Turn back on the heat, rather. And start incorporating our egg yolks, sugar, lemon zest, lemon juice, and salt, of course. So now here is the exercise part of this activity. For those of you who have whisked and made homemade whipped cream without using a hand blender and just used a whisk, you will know that it is rather exhausting for your forearms, and you work up a sweat while doing it. So this is a constant whisking project because we don't want the egg yolks to cook. Also, we want to use preferably a heavy steel pot pan, nothing thin, because we want the heat to move throughout the pan evenly and not just scorch on the bottom and cook the egg yolks. And you will know when it is done because it will get thick, noticeably thick. to where you don't really need to even think about it. But it takes a little time because you have to be patient with the heat because you don't want to cook the yolks. So once this is thick and custard-like, which it's becoming, we're just going to transfer them to our pâte de crème pots or pyrex, whatever it may be. You can't not notice the difference of thickness when you're doing this. So there's really no questioning, I don't know when this is done, because it becomes incredibly thick like pudding. And then you'll start to see light peaks. This smells so good. I'm going to shut the heat off because it's nice and thick, and I'm going to add just a dash of cinnamon. And this is Ceylon cinnamon, which is the healthier alternative to traditional cinnamon because it is not poisonous to your liver like most cinnamons that are sold on the market are. You want to buy Ceylon cinnamon when purchasing cinnamon. And look at this. This is so thick and so delicious looking. It thickened up so much. So now we're going to transfer this. So I already had some pâte de crème chilling in the fridge. Nice, set, and ready. And as you can see, the consistency is solid. Now we're just going to decorate them, make them look beautiful. I have some fresh organic raspberries and some macadamia nuts and some mint. So let's just get these off in the cutting board. I'm just going to give a little rough chop to the macadamia nuts. And really, I mean, this is a dessert that kind of speaks for itself as far as how it looks. Anytime you see chocolate, it just makes you want to eat it. And just let it rain. Macadamia nuts, delicious. I love macadamia nuts. Fresh mint. Oh snap. Oh man. Let's do one more mint on this guy. Look at that. Look how beautiful and simple and delicious. Well, we don't know it's delicious yet. We gotta taste it. Okay, it's time to taste. Look how nice it sat. Look at that. Look how it's set. It's thick. If you don't make this dessert, you will be missing out. It is packed with nutrition, it is packed with flavor, and it's waiting for you to be eaten. Make it. I promise you, it's so easy. You saw that. So good. Pâte de crème. Delicious. Look at that. All of your favorite foods. You have sushi from Japan, Portobello mushroom pizzas from Italy, and lamb tacos from Mexico.
She's getting happier and happier.
And then wait till you see dessert. Chocolate pâte de crème without any cream, milk, or sugar. All healthy. Should I eat it first or you want it?
You want to try?
Yeah.
Tell me.
I'm very interested in your reaction to this.
This is so good, Michael.
So what was your favorite part of the meal today, Kay? What's that? The pudding that we pushed over to the side in order to move to this next segment? So we made dishes from all over the world, healthy, with nutrition in mind, and they did not skip on the flavor. As Clara could say, how delicious was everything? Was everything?
Yummy.
It was yummy. See, one word sums it all up. So with that being said, thank you for watching The Mindful Chef, and I look forward to cooking for you and with you. Say bye, Kay.
Bye.
Our mouths have traveled to 4 different countries today without ever leaving the kitchen. We have made beautiful, nutritionally dense packed dishes that definitely do not discriminate on flavor. Here on The Mindful Chef, we'll always be filling you with unbiased information and recipes to assist you in living more vibrantly and aging more gracefully. As always, I would like to remind you that mindful eating, in a nutshell, is seeking the wisdom that reroutes us back to what we are very much a part of, life itself and nature as a whole. Our earth is by far the best grocery store, and it beholds infinite solutions to re-healing your body back to its roots. So thank you for watching The Mindful Chef today, and I wish that you make these delicious recipes. We'll see you next time here on The Mindful Chef.